Affliction Warlocks or Beastmaster Hunters? Big dilemma. Looks like my recommendation for my fellow casual players to play ranged class as opposed to melee class in Shadowlands has landed well. A lot of people said that it resonated with them. So today I thought I'm gonna dive a little deeper and express my thoughts on what class and spec out of Beastmaster Huntery and Affliction Warlocks as my classes and specs of choice for the time being in ranged land, which ones would be right for you. I'm just gonna give you a couple of pointers and gonna hopefully help you choose your ranged DPS class. Let's do this. Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Gyro, I'm your host here. Particularly warm welcome to you if you are my new supporters, some of my new subscribers. You're most welcome here. We play for fun. We are casuals here. So, Beastmaster Hunters and Affliction Warlocks. Very quick context setting, and do use the timestamps. Do use the if I go on a tangent, because this is an unscripted, loosely scripted video. I'm gonna be just expressing my thoughts as I always do on this channel with you guys. Use the table of contents is all I'm gonna say to you, in case you want to fast forward to a certain topic, okay? So, let's talk about this choice of a ranged class, basically. So I made a recommendation that, in my opinion, if you want to relax, if you want to chill, if you want to be a true casual and enjoy yourself in Shadowlands, you probably will have a better / easier time to play ranged in Shadowlands. And Shadowlands, as we know, is fast approaching. Nothing is wrong with melee classes, by the way, in case you're saying, Gyro, what's wrong with you, man? You're an altoholic, you play a lot of classes. I do, and I will, but primarily I'm going ranged. Watch my video, I spent a long time there in that video talking specifically about why. Now, I play pet classes, and among pet classes, Beastmaster Huntery is a no-brainer, currently my main choice. Yeah, I'm gonna play as Beastmaster Hunter. That is gonna be my first class in Shadowlands that I will take to the top. Affliction Warlocks are dear to my heart. If you've been one of my supporters for a while, and if you watched my previous videos, I spent quite a bit of time praising Affliction. Affliction is amazing. I think Affliction is amazing still. And now we have some more prominent changes to the class that I finally had a chance to take a look at as I started leveling this awesome dude, as I started leveling another little alt. Yeah, I wanted to do it just to level from 0 to hero, just to have a proper full leveling experience in the revamped world of pre-patch, and I will report on those aspects to you separately in a separate video, so stay tuned. But today we'll talk specifically about the specs. This is not an in-depth spec guide. I'm not specifically going deep into the intricacies of how to play Beast Mastery or how to play Affliction, but I will show you enough and I will mention enough to give you an idea. So if you're choosing a class, hopefully it will be helpful. Now, Beast Mastery in a nutshell, okay, let's start with an overview. Beast Mastery is basic, it has always been basic, and it looks like it will always remain basic, because that is how Blizzard designed Hunters and designed Beast Mastery spec. It is meant to be accessible. It is meant to satisfy a specific crowd, and that is why they keep it basic. And that is why the second point is also true. It is somewhat boring. It is somewhat boring. And when I say that, I don't mean that boring is always a bad thing. Sometimes we want boring. I, as a working man, as a person who is busy, as a person who plays some other classes as well that offer a lot more intense gameplay, I crave this boredom sometimes. I do. So this is not a bad thing, but take it for what it is. Beast Mastery is basic. Beast Mastery, I would also say, has very good damage output, very good capabilities all round. That's what makes it rather OP and loved, not without a reason, yeah. But I would say if we had to compare the two, Affliction and Beast Mastery is a lot more single target focused. Hear me out. Of course, your pet can cleave, and we'll get to that. But at the same time, general playstyle is very specific for Beast Mastery. You generally try not to pick too many targets. You just try to pick one, boom, burst it with your shots and with your pet. You pick another, boom, you burst it with your pet and with your shots. And your pet is solid steel wall personal tank that is running ahead of you. That is how Beast Mastery generally plays and feels. Affliction, on the other hand, has slightly different characteristics, a lot of similarities but slightly different characteristics. It's without a doubt more complex than Beast Mastery. More complex. It's not rocket science, but it is more complex. It is also, arguably, subjectively, a lot more fun. It is a lot more fun than Beast Mastery. If we go beyond just enjoying how easy it is. If we go beyond that, if we look at mechanics, if we look at how the class plays, it is a lot more fun. Also, similarly to how we're talking about single target versus multi-target for Beast Mastery, I would say that Affliction, especially in this particular style of play and after these changes that we're going to discuss today, I think it's a lot more multi-target focused. Affliction has always been good at pumping out single target damage, sure, but right now Affliction has become a lot more fun with multi-targeting, especially for a casual. I'm just talking from my own perspective. Maybe you've always played this way, but for me, it's how it's been and it's how it is now. So it is, if we compare the two, put simply, Beast Mastery single target, Affliction multi-target. And Affliction, just like Beast Mastery, does have a personal tank and does feel quite OP, especially at times in the conditions that are good for it. Now, to recap very quickly, Beast Mastery changes that also, well, they are not plentiful. Yeah, I had a video talking about ranged classes, and I think I mentioned that already, but I'll repeat myself, it won't take that long. Barely any changes to Beast Mastery for Shadowlands. Barely any changes compared to the old style of this class that's made to be accessible, that's made to be easy. We got Kill Shot and Execute as Beastmaster Hunters. I'm not talking in this video about any Covenant abilities, about anything that comes in Shadowlands. Time will come for us to discuss this once it is on your radar front and center, once you have transitioned into Shadowlands. Biggest change, I suppose, from my perspective, is that there are new pets to tame. So there will be new families of pets open to us all, and it kind of creates that extra mini game that I talked about in my recommendations for you to play ranged class in general, where I spoke a lot again about Beastmaster Hunter. I think that that's it. That's about it. They kept it really basic. And the spec, Beast Mastery, let's face it, was in a good place. It also was in a good place. Affliction changes are maybe not plentiful, but there are several substantial ones. Substantial ones that make me... I was always an Affliction fan. Always was. But it was not fun enough for me to stay with it because it's also, as I said, more complex. So I was like, okay, if Beast Mastery and Affliction are both not crazy fun, but one is much easier while still feeling OP, well, I'll play that. That was my sort of train of thought there. Now, Affliction has gotten several changes. One of them, smaller one, is that Unstable Affliction as a spell, one of the damage over time effects, now does not require shard and can be applied only to one target. This is not necessarily a good thing. So yes, you can apply it any time, you don't need a shard, but at the same time, it's only one target, only one Unstable Affliction. You cannot spread it, or you cannot put multiple Unstable Afflictions onto the same target. You cannot put 3 on the same target. That's fine. Biggest thing, at least that shines to me and that makes me now very seriously reconsider Affliction, it does, is the new wonderful ability called Malefic Rapture. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. It's not very common words, are they? Malefic Rapture is beautiful, is fantastic. It basically explodes any damage over time effects that you have applied to your targets, on all targets, at any distance. What that creates, my friends, is a new playstyle for Affliction. Affliction has always been a multi-dotting, so you would damage over time, you would spread damage over time effects, and that's what creates this relative complexity compared to Beast Mastery. You have to tap, tab target, tap, tab target, tap. You have to spread your damage over time effects on as many targets as you want if you want to be remotely DPS competitive for Affliction. So it's busy work. Playing Affliction is busy work, and while it always, especially in the good hands, it always made you feel OP as an Afflictor, but I would dare say there was something missing for me personally, there was something missing that didn't make it as much fun. Malefic Rapture, to me, for me, it has filled that gap. It has given me something that makes me consider it differently, and it makes me feel like Affliction is now a lot more fun. So as the footage in the background shows to you, basically the playstyle, it just basically caters for very new, very fun playstyle. You just run past everything, you dot up everything with instant dots. You don't do the cast time ones because that would waste your time. At least I don't recommend it for a casual playstyle. You basically do the instant dots. You do the corruption, you do the agony, and you do the siphon life, or whatever it's called, siphon health, when you have specced into it, when you have had a talent, yeah? So instant dots, because they're quick to apply, and on at least 3 targets, I'd say, to make it worth it, to make it a bit more fun. The more the merrier, but the longer you spend time applying those dots, the more of the first ones applied will run out, so you kind of have to find that balance for yourself, and that's what I suppose differentiates between good Warlocks and bad Warlocks like me. And then you press Malefic Rapture, and Malefic Rapture makes everything explode. Boom! Boom! All of them. Boom! It's like AoE, but at the same time, for AoE, for Beast Mastery, for previously even Affliction with its Seed of Corruption that we had for a long time effect, previously the targets needed to be bunched up. They needed to be together in order for your AoE to do any significant damage and see a lot of those numbers pop up. Boom, boom, right? Now, the cool thing is that I could dot up things everywhere. I could just dot up and keep running. I could dot them up and then do Malefic Rapture, and it still will boom everywhere. It's like a distributed AoE. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't know if I'm explaining it right, but hopefully the footage plus this explanation kind of starts speaking to you and you actually start getting what I'm trying to say. It's heaps of fun. It's a lot more complex than BM. It's not rocket science, like I said, but even just explaining this, even the multi-dotting part, even the tab targeting efficiently and quickly, even just pressing those 3 buttons of instant curses, you know, it's vastly more complex than Beast Mastery. It is busy work, but now this busy work is rewarding you as a slightly more advanced player with a lot more fun. That's what it is. So this was intended to be a short video just to express my thoughts and express my kind of newly discovered Malefic Rapture gameplay, which is fantastic. So who is Beast Mastery for, ultimately? Let's just summarize. Beast Mastery is without a doubt for newbies. For newbies, for people who are new to World of Warcraft, they're tentative, they can benefit from a personal tank, yet they don't want any complex mechanics just yet. That's the first thing. Beast Mastery is definitely for tired of more complex and intense classes and rotations players. So if you play, you might not be a newbie, but you play something intense, you play something that requires complex rotations, you play something melee, you play something that... you know what I'm saying, right? So if you're tired of that, Beast Mastery is... I always compared it to taking off your business shoes, putting them into your drawer wherever you store your shoes, and putting on comfortable home slippers. That's how Beast Mastery feels. That's who it is for. Also, Beast Mastery evidently is for tamers. Is for people who are pet collectors, not battle pet collectors, but actually tameable pet collectors. If you see a little mini game or almost transmog-like game to be surrounded by specific new family of pets, yeah, maybe you're into flying pets, maybe you're into wind serpents, maybe you're into something else, into spectral wolves. Beast Mastery gives you that mini game, and I am personally somewhat attracted to it. It's not a deciding factor for me, but I like it for it. And specific playstyle already described. If you are just, okay, I'll just go as single target focused as I can, because that's very efficient for BM, and I just go, boom, you're dead, boom, you're dead, boom, you're dead. That's how Beast Mastery generally plays. Of course, like I said, don't try and correct me on this, I'm not an idiot, I understand this myself. Beast Mastery can cleave, Beast Mastery pets cleave, Beast Mastery does multi-shot, pet cleaves, multi-shot, pet cleaves. It's boring as hell, but it's efficient. So it can do AoE, but certainly not distributed AoE. Beast Mastery doesn't allow for as much tactical positioning and movement in such a fun way, just running around dotting everything up, as Affliction does. With this we move on to who is Affliction for then? Well, as I said already, and as comes without a doubt, more advanced players, definitely more advanced players. It is not rocket science, but not easy mode for beginners either, for sure. It's not easy mode for beginners. But it can get rather easy and rather fun if you're slightly more advanced. If you're medium to more advanced, yet still casual player, but if you're okay with pressing multiple buttons, if you're okay with being slightly fast on your feet and you get a kick out of it, which I do, then it's definitely sounds like it's for you. I would also arguably, very open to opinions here, I would say that both classes are suitable for PvP. They are suitable for PvP, but Affliction is a lot more suitable for PvP. Because with Affliction, with BM, with Beast Mastery, you need line of sight. You always need line of sight, and you are more single target focused because that's what your pet is on, that's where most of your damage comes from, and you shoot generally in one direction, right? Well, Affliction, in the unpredictable PvP landscape, Afflictor can dot things up, multiple players, multiple enemy players, run behind pillars, hide while damage is still ticking, lots of curses to slow down spellcasting, to slow down attacks of a person with a curse of weakness, put curse of tongues on them. Like, there is just so much to do. So PvPers would absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt, at least to me, for me personally, benefit from playing Affliction compared to Beast Mastery, for sure. And like I said, once again, it is ultimately about your playstyle, about your preference of the playstyle, and I think I explained and demonstrated it well enough in this video, hopefully. Affliction is more about multi-dotting. If you get a kick out of multi-dotting everything and then doing Malefic Rapture a few times and seeing everything die and see all these bunches of numbers, then Affliction is for you. I would also point out one last thing, which is less important, but something that you need to be aware of, and you can see it mostly in dungeons when you run both specs, when you start noticing, when you start paying attention to DPS meter, to the recount in my case. Affliction, at least in Malefic Rapture playstyle, where you need to multi-dot and then start executing with Malefic Rapture, Malefic Rapture is slower to pick up DPS. So it's almost like you engage a group and there are 4 targets for you to dot up. So BM, Beastmaster, you will see that bar of the DPS for Beastmaster surge high straight up. Boom! It's high up and it gets to a certain point and it stays there, whatever. With Affliction, what I notice now with this gameplay, with Malefic Rapture being now my focus personally, and I'm trying to get better at it. I'm not a pro Warlock. You guys probably will teach me a few trick or two if you are more Affliction players. But basically, with Affliction, you engage with that group of 4 targets, for example, in a dungeon, and you see DPS of other people, boom, surge. While you are still slowly, well, relatively slowly, tab targeting and dotting up the players, the enemies. Once you have dotted up 3 or 4, if you're good, and then you start Malefic Rapture, Malefic Rapture, Malefic Rapture, you will surge. So potential for DPS, especially on multi-target type fights, especially when you are okay, when you're good with pressing buttons. Potential, I say, is higher than Beast Mastery. Potential for DPS is higher than Beast Mastery. But then it obviously comes to your personal execution. But I had so much fun with this. Ramp up of DPS very slow, but then once I'm in execution phase, in Malefic Rapture phase, once everything is dotted up, people are probably like, oh my god, what this guy is doing. Like, because my DPS just dwarfed others. I don't know if in this footage that I'm showing to you, because obviously I'm recording this separately from the footage, I will then overlay the footage. I'll try to demonstrate as much as possible, but I don't know if it came across. You'll just have to trust me, take my word for it. So hopefully this video was a bit of a fun reintroduction to 2 of the very, very prominent, very good ranged specs that I think will both perform very well in Shadowlands. Beast Mastery and Affliction Warlocks. Let me know how it makes you feel. Let me know what you're gonna play. Let me know if this changed your opinion. Let me know if this makes you consider a different spec. If you ask me, I sound super excited because I am, and I play this game for fun. I want this effect. I want to be excited, and it does it for me. So I'm really, really happy with leveling this Warlock right now. Am I changing my ranged DPS of choice again? No. No. I am one of those tired, tired, experienced players who want sleepers on their feet as opposed to business shoes. I want to chill, and Beast Mastery is a lot more chill. But at the moment with Malefic Rapture, I'm just having so much fun that I will just go ahead and say that suddenly, if I was considering, say, Beast Mastery and then Demon Hunter as my second close main choice for Shadowlands, I'd say right now Demon Hunter was pushed very confidently to spot number 3, and I'd say Beastmaster and Affliction Warlock gonna be my two classes of choice, specs of choice for now. Yeah, that's how I feel. It's interesting, right? It's all a journey. Alright, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you are one of my new subscribers. If you're not, please consider subscribing. You're most welcome here. It's a very friendly, casual club. We play for fun, and videos are coming to you twice a week. So please show your support and like the video. And I'll be speaking with you about something else, most likely leveling, very, very soon again. See you later. Bye-bye.